You heard about the news, what happened to those innocent 49 people who got gunned down in New Zealand? You asked like, well, wow, as you're admiring the bridge, and you said, well, who put this together? Who's the designer? Did you hear about what happened in New Zealand? Any thoughts on?
Dino Paolo from Montenegro.
Billy Duca from Dieber, Macedonia.
I'm Nico from Dieber.
Don't worry, that wasn't a gunshot.
The more I looked into it, the more I found out that it was, from God, from Allah.
We're from New York actually, so just living the New York life.
That he came from Hinduism and he accepted Islam, and I asked him, what was it about Islam? And you said?
The life of the barzakh, the life of the grave, that really scared me. And I just realized I had to change it. And alhamdulillah, Allah.
We had Isa, Maryam here in Queens, New York. Jesus, the son of Mary. So it's a mosque named after Jesus, one of the greatest messengers in Islam. You remember a story about it? Yeah? Inshallah, we'll be soon in Sarajevo. But we got Sarajevo here in New York. Look at that. A taste of Sarajevo in New York.
To je tada da kafana, mislim, ne znam, ako su to, njega je tražili mjesto.
Njega i Dedeljka, ja sam inače prije.
Život jedan, nema
Dok udariš, brate, samo dlan od dlan.
Jeste, tako je bilo. Nema, prošao si, ti si prošao sve kafane, sad je lako klanja.
Neka sam ja ovdje gost bio.
Sve u svoje vrijeme.
Ali evo sad je sve u svoje.
Sve u svoje vrijeme.
Tobe, jele?
Ne, bolje ikad nego nikad.
Bravo.
Bravo. Nema drugi.
Inače, odakle si? You hear about what happened in New Zealand? Any thoughts on
No,
the...
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it? Okay.
I watched the news tonight.
Okay, check it out. Check out the Dean Show. How's that?
Thank you very much. Hi.
From New York.
Happy New York, Big Apple.
There you go. Thank you, bro.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You too. Nice people in New York. And that's why it's very important. Education is the key, because people will do very irrational and crazy things when they're scared. Make the human connection with Muslims. Go visit Muslims in a mosque. Muslims, get out there, knock on doors, invite people to your masjids, so you can go ahead and make a difference, because the media is pumping people up, and the hate provocateurs, over $250,000 minimum is being spent to demonize, to create fear of Muslims, negative propaganda. You got to get out there and be ambassadors to your deen. It's a mandate from Allah. Go out there and share if you care. You heard about the news, what happened to those innocent 49 people who got gunned down in New Zealand?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Sad.
What are your thoughts
Yeah.
about that?
You gotta watch it today,
Yeah.
It's sad.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
In New York, Queens still?
Yes, we're still in Queens, New York. We're eating real food.
Yes, real food. Avoid fake food. He's turned this out. It's a real nice place. What's this called?
Fusion Juice Bar.
Fusion Juice Bar. Look at it, beautiful. They got some really nice variety of foods, real foods to eat. And this is the investment worth investing in. You'll invest in your car, make sure it's going to get you from point A to point B, but what about your body, your health? We've been told that this is besides time, one of the other blessings, health, that people take for granted. You got cancer on the rise, 1 in 2 men, 1 in 3 women expected to have cancer, chronic diseases skyrocketing through the roof, and 95% of those chronic diseases are food related. So we can get our food and nutrition right, God will, inshallah, then we can make other lifestyle adjustments. Clean water, good sleep, good rest, exercise, very important, movement. And if we can implement these small things and stopping the invaders that are coming in, the toxic poisons that we're putting in our body, inflaming the body, and then we're getting sick. So nutrition, along with obviously building that on a good heart, a healthy heart, taking care of the soul. And from there, taking care of our body, our mind, and all these things are connected. All these are components for true happiness. You cannot neglect one over the other. They all have their place. This is a great place to visit, and a great little reminder to not put garbage in this body that Allah, the Creator, created for us, because it's not a garbage can. So eat real food, avoid fake food here in New York. We're just talking about how property values are starting to go up in the area where the Muslims pray, the house of God, the house of Allah, the masjid. So share that with us, what you were saying about.
You know, when we opened the Jesus Son of Mary Mosque in New York City, in Hollis, Queens, we opened it in an area that real estate wasn't really booming. You know, there was houses right next to the mosque that were going for like $250,000. And we opened in 2011. Those same houses now are worth $750,000 plus. So the real estate went up 200%. And I've seen it with my own eyes. Several business owners actually wanting to build larger buildings, larger facilities, and asking for masjids to be on the first floor, because they know that A, it's going to increase the real estate value, and B, it brings, you know, a lot of the community together. So it's really something amazing to see the impact of the house of God, what it does to a community.
Yeah, I've seen where actually crime has gone down,
Yes.
right? Police are more happy, you know, the community's happier, but a lot of times you get this negative push. They don't want mosques in their town, but now you're actually showing the good side, the flip side that people need to hear.
Yeah, the businessmen and the entrepreneurs know, and they want the mosque there because their real estate value goes up, building values, they make money, businessmen, because of that value. You know, even over here in New York City, the NYPD, the captain thanked us personally. He said, "Thank you for what you're doing for the community," because they know the value.
That's
for sure.
So that's the who thanked the community, the New York police chief?
New York NYPD, New York Police Department, the captain, yeah.
The captain, wow.
Yep.
And what about, so also crime? We mentioned crime going down in the neighborhood?
Absolutely, crime has gone down several areas. I mean, one of the best examples here in New York is in Brooklyn. You know, Brooklyn, huge area of drug problems, and you know, a masjid was built, and everything started getting wiped out. Jamaica Avenue.
We're on Jamaica. We're not in Jamaica. We're in Jamaica, on Jamaica Avenue in Queens. Where's Brooklyn?
Brooklyn's far.
Brooklyn's far.
Yeah, this is Queens.
Queens. Bob, are you cold?
Almost.
Don't worry, that wasn't a gunshot. We're in New York.
This area is very much up and coming.
Excuse me.
It's becoming the mini Manhattan.
The Muslims in the New Zealand.
Sad. I don't know, really. It's just, I don't want to go with that. It's sad, yeah.
Yeah.
People die. Innocent Muslim.
Yeah. I'm Muslim, actually.
I got it.
Yeah. And a lot of times, you know, anytime something is perpetrated by some lunatic who's not even practicing Islam, they put Islam, you know, on the stand. You know what I'm saying?
So we've originally founded the Hate Busters after the murder of Dia, Yusra, and Razan in North Carolina. Remember the 3 Muslims that were there? May Allah have mercy on them. Yes. Their neighbor had killed them.
Yeah. The guy who came in their home. And
the guy who killed them in their home, yeah. So when we looked at that situation, may Allah have mercy on them and their families. I mean, when we looked at that situation, we said to ourselves that there has to be a way where we can show people what Islam is and be able to show it from a different perspective. So we started the Hate Busters. We have a big team, alhamdulillah, with the Hate Busters. And basically the Hate Busters' mission is to bust hate with love. So we know that there's hate that exists out there. We know it's there. And that's fine. People have their own prerogative. They have their own opinions, you know. They got the real food here now, mashallah. They're entitled to their own opinions. But we wanted to bring Islam from a different perspective. So one of the things we did with the Hate Busters is we launched the Hate Buster trucks. So the Hate Buster trucks, they drive around major cities across the United States with loving messages about Islam. So for example, we have the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that the best of you are the best towards women, right? So we took a truck, we drove around Lower Manhattan, we went to Maryland, we went to Jersey, we went to cities, you know, across the US, and the beautiful thing about the hate buster truck is you can't avoid it. It comes right in front of you, right in front of your eyes. And the response was just amazing. I mean, people looked at a different perspective of Islam. And we also did some hate busting activities where we brought trucks with messages and hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. And we asked people if they agreed with the Prophet ﷺ. And a lot of people said, yes, we agree with the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, which is an amazing door for them to start learning about Islam. We also gave them roses, we exchanged a lot of information, in Times Square we had people accept Islam as well, through our initiatives. So alhamdulillah, it was a great success, alhamdulillah.
Busting the hate with love, educating the people, and that's the way to go, huh? With all this misinformation, more of this is needed, and this is where we're lacking. So it's very exciting to see people who are out there who are doing their best, and hopefully we can motivate more people to go ahead and try to bust the hate with the love, with educating the people. So with Kareem here, we got, what do we got here? We got some, brought us here, we're getting some real food, beautiful, look at that, huh? Allah blessed us with the tayyibat, the beautiful, so we can have some avocados, some eggs. And these are, I believe, from organic, pasture raised, huh?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Not conventional eggs. And then, what do we got here? We got carrot, ginger, kale, spinach, all the good stuff, medicine. Here in New Jersey, and I got some, we got Montenegro, from Montenegro, and where are you guys from?
From Dibur.
From where?
From Montenegro.
Introduce yourself.
Dino Paolo from Montenegro.
Billy Duca from Dibur, Macedonia.
I'm Nico from Dibur.
Yeah. So how long you guys been practicing Islam?
Want to start, Dino?
For me, for about what now, almost 15, 16 years.
Yeah, what was it about Islam that had you turn your life around towards practicing it?
I guess it was just, I was just on the internet, and then I heard a lot of people just saying bad things about Islam, and then I figured, since I'm Muslim, I might as well, start looking into it. And then the more I looked into it, the more I found out that it was, from God, from Allah.
Yeah, what about you guys?
I've been practicing for 2.5 years now, alhamdulillah. Why? Well, I used to be a little religious when I was younger, probably 13 years old. And then I got caught up in the typical American lifestyle, I guess, call it. We're from New York, actually, so just living the New York life. Caught up, and then I remember certain hadiths that just got to me, the life of the barzakh, the life of the grave, that really scared me. And I just realized I had to change it. And alhamdulillah, Allah guided me.
Same here. I came here 10 years ago. And, just like everybody else, when you first come here, then I started practicing it like 5 years ago. So alhamdulillah, I had a mosque close to my house.
Beautiful. Meeting brothers from all over the place. Nice meeting you brothers. Assalamu alaikum.
So,
What happened?
There was an attack on people who went to the mosque. We're Muslim. So it was, usually they'd call it Muslim terrorists, right?
Yeah.
So the Muslims were in there praying. Jummah is the time of the week. Yeah, we go and pray. Are you Muslim?
No, I'm just afraid. I'm just
Not yet. Not yet Muslim. We'll call you. There's a mosque here.
Yeah,
called,
I know. I just have a lot of friends that go to the mosque.
You should stop in, man.
Yeah, I'll be trying this.
Hey, this is we got a not yet Muslim. He's
Muslim.
Yeah.
So we got a maybe Muslim man.
What's
your name, brother?
Adrian Smith.
Adrian Smith. What do you know about Islam?
All I know is Ramadan. I ain't go first.
You know about Ramadan?
Yeah, you're gonna stop in sometimes. This is one of the.
Yeah, we got the Jesus Son of Mary Mosque right around the corner. We got a huge facility. Anytime you want to come by, meet us, eat with us.
When?
You can take.
Hell yeah! That's
Here's
actually.
cheese.
All right, bet. Thank you. Sorry,
Yeah.
All right, take it easy.
Assalamu alaikum. So we're in New Jersey, and I met our brother
Ashwin Katul.
Ashwin. He was just telling me real quickly that he came from Hinduism, and he accepted Islam. And I asked him, what was it about Islam? And you said,
It was the oneness of God. It started from believing in one God and the prophets.
what's the basic belief system of Hinduism?
There is no, the way I see it, it comes from various scriptures. The basic should be oneness of God, but I don't find it in the regular life where people believe it. It's generally spread across many idols, which is not acceptable for me. Eventually, I had to accept what the message of Islam said.
So for all our brothers from Hyderabad, that's where you're originally from, but the sad thing was nobody was giving you a dawah there or representing. Did you feel Islam? What were you saying, that you couldn't find the ideal person or Islam the way that it was practiced? What were you explain that to me again?
That's fine. I had a lot of Muslims in the class, and there was nothing to learn from them because they were known for notorious behavior. So I was keeping myself amongst my own circle of friends. But I came to learn Islam when I got to US, when I befriended a few brothers who were very religious, and we had a discussion and we shared a lot of topic between my religion and Islam at that time. And then I eventually took 6 to 7 months, and then Allah Ta'ala opened my heart, and then I became a Muslim.
How did you find out about the Deen show?
Through, I don't remember how, but I think it came under recommendations because I was following speakers, Islamic speakers, as well as Brother Ahmad Didat lectures. So that's how yours popped up, and then I followed you from there because I started seeing your topics on interviewing people, and Brother Muhammad Hijab. That's where I started following you.
Yeah.
Because I met Brother Muhammad Hijab when he came here for the debate.
So what advice would you have for other people who are from the Hindu background, but they're also having this problem with, worshiping multiple gods, and they like the idea, the concept of worshiping only one God? What advice would you have for them? Where to start?
Open your heart first off. If you believe in something, ask questions where the belief came from and what's the source. If the source convinces you, then well and good. We cannot really force you to believe, or there's nobody else should be able to force you. But what you have to understand is, where did that information come from? Check your information, and then based on that, take it from there. If you have seen, if you believe in certain book, why do you believe in that book, and what evidence does it have to back up? In my case, if I were to follow the Quran and the Hadith, I see where the evidence comes from. Who was it revealed to? We know the person who was revealed to, and the interpretation from the person who was revealed to, and there's evidence to back up. There's any scripture you follow, see where the sources come from. It applies to the Bible as well. See where the evidence comes from. Do you actually have the evidence? And do you have the interpretation from the person who it was revealed to? If there's none, then check your resources, check your sources.
What were a couple of the struggles that you went through? How'd you overcome them?
Struggles, we'll always go through struggles, because as Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran that He will test you when you accept Islam, and it did. My parents did give me a tough time, and you stick with what the truth is. There's no going back. If you believe something is right, you have to believe that's right. There is no compromise, and when you stick with it, it's your relation with Allah first, then it's anybody else. So stick with your Creator than anybody else.
Do you see more and more Hindus coming to Islam? Have you witnessed that?
Not much, but I have met Hindus definitely who are reverts over here, but very rare in general. I see Christians more, but Hindus very rare, because when they are brought up, they have this notion of hating Muslims or Christians that has to be worked on first. So the person has to be willing to be open for ideas or for beliefs.
All right, thank you for spending a few minutes with us, introducing yourself and sharing your story in the condensed version. Thank you very much.
This is Astoria Park.
Astoria Park.
Yeah, this is Astoria Park in Queens. This is the Triborough Bridge.
What is it called?
Triborough Bridge.
Triborough Bridge.
Yeah, and then we have Roosevelt Island, the view of Roosevelt Island.
Just looking at this bridge, and I don't know, some of you have seen this bridge, maybe on some pictures, or didn't see it like firsthand. Beautiful man-made invention to get people from one side to the other. But imagine if we're just having a conversation. I said, you asked me, or I asked the person, but imagine if someone said, hey, so I wonder who created this? Who put this together? And then your buddy said, what are you talking about? It just happened by chance. There's no designer behind this. What would you think? You know what you think. There's more chances of that creating itself than this whole universe. Which is absurd, isn't it? Where are some people going with that? I was observing this bridge and I thought, imagine having a conversation with someone and then you ask like, well, wow, as you're admiring the bridge, and you said, well, who put this together? Who's the designer? And the person looked at you bewildered and said, why are you asking me that?
Yeah.
There is no one. It just happened by chance. What do you think? Would that be acceptable in a
No way.
in a logical conversation?
No way. No way. That bridge can't come by itself out of random choice, 0.0001 chance. It's impossible. It's not going to happen. It wasn't put together with chance. It was put together for a purpose.
But everyone, I think everybody's like, that's 100% like consensus. Everybody's on the same page. We got a thumbs up. But why do people attribute foolishness now to the creation, to the universe, that it just happened by chance?
You know, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. In my experience, what I've noticed, and a lot of other people that I've spoken to as well, they've noticed this as well, is that a lot of people who either leave their faith or have doubts about their faith, or let's say become atheists or even bash religions, right? There's usually an emotional attachment to that, meaning that there's something that happened to that person in their life and they're taking it out on their faith. That's usually my experience, what I've seen. So, you know, most people that I've talked to, especially let's say Muslims that I've talked to, because I'm Muslim, I talk to Muslims, the ones who are doubtful about their faith, you know, the ones who say they want to leave Islam, when you really start having conversations with them, digging deeper and deeper, you realize that there's a problem. There's a problem that they have in their lives with their family. Something happened to them, the people around them, the way they treat them. So usually something comes down to that, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's really at the end of the day, it's not something logical. It's more emotional.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I've seen that also.
Yeah, definitely more emotions. I mean, look at the bridge. you can't deny it.
Yeah.
You can't deny it. So it's definitely more emotion than logic. Absolutely.
So come on, guys. You can't deny the bridge. But what about the one who created this whole creation and everything in it? That's logical. It makes sense. Design indicates a designer. Here in New York,